Good morning. It's Saturday, and this is White Ash Flies with Colin Mahoney. Thanks for listening. Today, another episode of Zander's Appendix. 3 poems containing birds, written and read by Colin Mahoney. You can follow White Ash Flies and find older episodes on SoundCloud, Spotify, and on Twitter at Colin Mahoney15. And now, 3 poems containing birds on White Ash Flies. The agency to end agency. Who prints necessity on us? At dusk. Whose rays coagulate into him? At his desk. Overheard or overhearing? Hands seething in lamplight. Who filled the north camps? Cold knitters of cosmos, whose bones thread a night bloom of pearl-escated desk lamps. Whose eyes our opposite numbers opened wide, unwarmed by stoves, fed a wilderness of armchairs. Who underpins it? The city of God. Whose prints on 1,000,000 summonses, 1,000,000 microscopic seizures to undermine the will, if only collaterally? Who raised and mounts scaffolds, so he can work at dusk under a rolling current of crows, broad as a river overhead? Momotus Momota. 1. Make a boiling bowl of water of your hands to rinse the sink after the scouring and the bleach. And in the garage, stand one-footed on the cooler, wobbly but rooted in the blind center of the earth. There's a crisis there for you, on the top shelf by the paint cans and rolling papers, the solvents, the Christmas pyramid already missing blades. What links the balsa to the terebinth, to the pistachio, to the loblolly? Sensually, at least. 2. Make a boiling river of the earth, the calm point beside it where, if you stand absolutely still, you'll find her song so understated, pulsing in the tunnels in the bank, or perched in the branches. The eye only catches her by the barely, perceptibly swaying pendant of tail feathers, caught the whole of your breath in cloud forests. A letter from here. Having surrounded ourselves with saints, by which I mean birds, singly and flocking, driving winds of them, of every feather as it were, always encroaching, like beach gulls. Here, where the peanut butter's gluey and the gin and tonic's tacky, and the mental furniture starts to fall to pieces. The magpies cannot abide tall men passing underneath, unshorn. Here my beard's a cubit long, and dive bomb repeatedly until shelter's taken. And the geese waddle up and hector us, on park benches with our unshorn heads between our knees. I thought of you the other day, on the train platform, watching the scrum and uplift, alight and uplift again of the pigeons massing there for days and weeks and years, until one day an old guy in office attire walks into their midst, holding a brown paper bag, from which he pulls handfuls of feed, emptying the bag to which the hiving mass rises expectantly. And again the next day, in rising hysterics at the sight of him. But on the third day, he produced not feed from the paper bag, but a fine specimen of cumulate, the color of fresh cream, and a fire of wings consumes him, poling against the bird-lime of pigeon shit that's covered him over time, until the birds lift him up and away in his office attire, or he melts away into their number. Anyway, we never saw him again. I thought you'd appreciate that. I don't know what bird it is greets me by the thousands in the ravine, above the freshet, a torrent, a curtain of chips and becks and kisses, sounding like thousands of sneakers giving chase over a rain-soaked, rubberized track, thousands of hearts racing around corners. Wander around every corner, we will, you and I, respectively, with a world of others beside us, every one around new corners, so that you can smell the sawdust in stairwells and down hallways, and the tiny hammers are at it incessantly, insensibly. See above. The reasons why are infinite and fungible into instants, into imagined afternoons that somehow predate us, and yet are laid out before us, reaching through the suburbs and into the spaces between us, in momentum, in stillness. On Sundays, I take the kids to Smoking Heart. We hike around its rim above the cloud line. Words cannot inscribe the rills of canyon reds, how weeping dobros describe the air that crows laugh and tumble down. More for you, windfalls and airs, which is why I write. And while I write, the swallows are at play again, in an imagined afternoon, over the lawns of the upper air. A dog gives chase over the skin of the sky, over the cloud line. That from me, who never particularly cared for dogs,